Neck-throughs, guitars, they're like a guy that won't have a beer with you.
I want to hear what's pushing the notes.
Freddie King and B.B. King, Albert King, and let's not forget Burger King.
I don't want to blow my knuckle out.
Stainless steel is the work of the devil.
These go to 11.
From the East Amplification Tone Labs in Baltimore, Maryland, it's the Amps and Axes Show with your hosts, Jeff the Godfather of Low Wattage Amps Bober and Mick Marcelino.
Well, good day to you, Mr. Bober.
Good day to you, Mr. Marcelino. How are you, man?
Oh, man, we are doing it, brother. And so are the fans, my friend.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
We, we always say it, but we can't do it without you.
That's
right. your friends, your relatives, and maybe new acquaintances you made over Thanksgiving. So tell them about it too.
Yeah. And just to let everybody know, it kind of freaked me out, and I said this a couple weeks ago, but they've changed the way that they get the statistics now. And that's a good thing. And the reason I say that is, and I know I'm going a little bit long here, but it's going to make all the other podcasts that are not honest, very quickly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, come by the end of December, nobody will be able to cheat. All that will be done, and you will have to be true to form, which means that there's going to be a lot of advertisers dropping podcasts because there's a lot of guys out there falsifying their numbers. Anyway,
wow. Okay.
So we can't thank our fans for being true fans. And you guys are really, man, you're the best. And make sure that when you do tell somebody about the show, because we ask you, that's the only way this thing gets around.
Word of mouth, baby.
Tell them that you heard it here first, man.
That's right, because, when we're interviewing our guests, there's a very, very good chance that we're hearing things for the first time as well. So, and we hope that holds true again for today. So we're going to take a pause for the cause and come back with our guest of the week, the one, the only, the beautiful Ms Nikki Stringfield.
Hey everyone, this is Alex Campbell from Seacarney, and you're listening to Amps and Axes.
CastFans, I got 3 words for you right here. Vinyl me, please. What a cool company. Every month, they will send you a new release, and it's not just something you can get in the store. Everything you get from Vinyl Me Please, you can't find anywhere else. They work with the artist and the record houses to come up with something really special for you. And it comes with a 12x12 album-inspired art print. And what I think is really cool, a paired cocktail recipe to go with your music. How cool is that? They give you things like colored vinyl, custom lyric books, exclusive artwork, personal notes from the artist, much more. And if you don't like it, they have this program called Swap, where you can actually send it back and pick from another offering in their archives. So it's a really cool thing. Just go to joinvmp.com/AAA or go to our website and hit the link. You'll really dig it. Thanks. All right, and we are back with our guest of the week as promised, because we keep our promises here. The one, the only, the beautiful Ms Nikki Stringfield. Nikki, how are you?
I'm great. How are you guys? Happy to be here.
Doing great. And, the timing's a little off, but hopefully you didn't eat too much for Thanksgiving.
And I'm looking forward to that tomorrow. Good old American Thanksgiving food. I kept wondering when we were in Europe, I'm like, why are they putting up Christmas stuff? It's not Thanksgiving yet. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. In America, they don't do Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I mean, it's the same here. Why are they putting up Christmas decorations? It's not even Thanksgiving yet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's exactly the same here.
So Jeff, always a story from me.
Always.
Yes. So, I think it was, it could have been Twitter back in the day. It was one of the two. It was either Twitter or it was Instagram. And I stumbled upon, that's where I stumbled upon Nikki Cox and Courtney Cox. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes. I had to. I've got my names all. It's been a long day, kids.
Right.
And Nita Strauss, in the Iron Maidens, and I started. I followed them, and I saw a bunch of videos from NAMM and things like this, and then all of a sudden, because we've interviewed her, Nita leaves and goes to Alice Cooper, right? And it was a short run. She was not in the band crazy long,
Right.
But then I see Nikki come in, and then we're at NAMM 2015, Winter NAMM, me and you, Jeff. And we run into Nikki. And it has taken literally this long to get her on the air.
Ridiculous. I know. And you guys saved the day and everything. And
Now, you know what? It was worth it because you got to play through one of Jeff's amps at the thing, and it was really cool meeting you. That we never get to meet our guests first,
Really?
Right.
in person. We always meet them on
Never.
the air first. Yeah,
And then we catch up with them at NAMM.
yeah, exactly.
That's the way it always happens.
And NAMM is coming up fast, huh?
It is. It
Yes.
is. So we'll touch base on that in a minute. But I'm gonna do like maybe you're familiar with or not, Nikki. But I'm gonna do what I do with all our guests, and we're gonna jump in the Wayback Machine, and we're gonna go back and find out where Ms Nikki Stringfield was born and raised, and what got you into this great, wonderful world of music. So give us some history.
All right. I was born and raised in a little town called Red Oak, Texas. It's like, depending on traffic, 30, 45 minutes south of downtown Dallas. Kind of middle of nowhere. My dad and mom listened to good music, thankfully. So I grew up listening to, all the 80s bands. I was born in 90. I missed all the good stuff. And I'm so jealous of everybody else. And so I grew up listening to AC/DC, obviously Iron Maiden, and my dad was in a band. So he got me my first guitar. And it was like one of those little starter Strat things. And,
Cool.
like usual. And then I think it just sat there for a couple of years because I was in my boy band phase when I was younger. And then, and there, like Backstreet Boys and all that good stuff. And thankfully, when I was 14, something hit me, picked up the guitar, and I was addicted. I just fell in love with it. I couldn't stop playing it. And I just kind of did the self-taught thing. And
See, your dad knew. Your dad knew eventually the bug would bite.
He knew.
He did, because it obviously bit him. You said he was in a band. Was he playing professionally, or just on the weekends, or guys in the garage? How was that for him?
I know he went out and gigged a lot. He was in a band called Medicine Man, and they played around Dallas. And I was really young, so I don't remember a whole lot of it. I just know that he, to this day, still has this. He's going to be so embarrassed. He has this live CD from back in the day, and he'll still play it. So I've heard all the songs a million times. They were good. They were really good.
Original?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So they were playing around in the early 90s. And yeah, he's a great guitar player. And, the name fits. Everybody thinks that, they're like, are you related to Bruce Springsteen or Rick Springfield? And I'm like, my real last name is Stringfield. It's very fitting.
Totally.
Yeah, it is.
And I would get a stage name, but it totally stuck.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
And your dad obviously had a great stage name too.
Right? I guess it was meant to be.
That's right. So what do you remember? What we'll touch base on yours too. But do you remember what his rig was like? Were you into it enough to know like what he was playing? What kind of gear?
Man, he had he still to this day he has a G&L Rampage, really old one. That's like his baby.
Wow, that's Jerry Cantrell's guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you see on what was the song? Oh God. The big Alice in Chains song.
Alice in Chains.
Yeah.
Man in the Box.
Yeah, Man in the Box. That's the guitar that he's playing. He's playing a Rampage.
I'm gonna have to go look that up. It's like a cream kind of yellowish color.
Yeah, and it's kind of an over exaggerated bubbly kind of Strat body.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a long. He keeps those. That's one of his gems. He keeps those hidden away. It took me forever to even be like, can I play it? And then he had an old Gibson. I can't remember what model it is. It's an older one because he's a big AC/DC Angus Young fan. I can't. I know it's got like a wood finish.
Well, I mean, if he's an AC/DC Angus fan, it's probably an SG, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know the year because that one I rarely ever saw. He would rarely bring those out. And I know he had a Marshall, of course. When I got older, it didn't come out that much. It kind of sat in a room. But yeah, I need to go get him to get all that out.
No lie.
Somewhere.
Probably sitting on a couple of gems there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's pretty cool.
They reissued that Jerry Cantrell guitar.
Did they?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, they did. And when you look at it, Jeff, and Nikki, it's kind of like they took a Strat, right? They took that principle, but they kind of shortened up the horns, and it kind of made it a little bit more fatter in the bottom, and most of them were like single, double. They were single humbucker pickups, and they had some of them had like Kahlers on them, I think, and. I'm sorry. I'm lying to you. That isn't true. They had the G&L bridge on them. That two-post, the very improved Fender type bridge. They had those on there. And then not too long ago, G&L reissued that guitar, and it was the Jerry Cantrell version. And if I'm not mistaken, it had the picture of because he had a sticker or something of a topless woman on it. And that's on the reissue.
On the
guitar.
Reissues?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
I think she's clothed, but it's kind of hard to sell to kids at a music store when there's a naked woman on the guitar.
Learn something new every day, or to sell more. Who knows?
Well, that's true, depending on the market, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Right. So, when you finally broke out your little Fender kit, which I'm sure came with the guitar and the little amp, right? That comes with it.
I think it did. Or you know what? I know we were gonna get that from this place called Mars back in the day.
Oh yeah.
I know that's where we got it from, but I can't remember if we actually got the little pack. I honestly can't remember. I know the guitar was blue. I don't know what happened to this guitar. We moved so many times.
Oh wow. I
really want to know what happened to it. It's got to be in storage, locked away somewhere. Probably, I think it might have been the kit, or I could have been a real pain I probably was a pain and made him buy everything separate. That sounds like me.
So when you finally picked it up, did you start playing by ear? Did you say it's time for lessons? What happened there?
He taught me how to read tab. So I went out and I got a Nirvana tab book because I was obsessed with them at the time. I know it's weird. Obsessed with playing guitar, and then I choose Nirvana. So I taught myself that, and I learned the whole book of the greatest hits, and then I started going on from there. I tried taking lessons a couple of times just to learn theory, and it never really worked. It would go back because I already knew how to play at this point years down the road. I just wanted to learn the theory and all that good stuff, and it would always turn around to, hey, what song do you want to learn? You want to learn Metallica? I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, wait, this isn't, I could do, So I still to this day need to teach myself more theory, but it was pretty much all by ear or tab in the beginning.
Wow.
Well,
hey.
not unusual, not unusual,
Yeah.
especially, the more we speak to younger people, there's so much out there online that's available now. It probably wasn't when you were young, but probably shortly after it started to permeate everything.
Oh yeah,
and it's
anything online now. It's
yeah.
You can totally do. That's what I'm. Now that I'm getting a little bit of free time this upcoming month or 2 months, you can find anything. Just totally teach yourself everything now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
it's pretty awesome.
We talked to last week's guest, Alex Campbell, and we were talking about Guitar Pro 7. And I did a whole sales pitch for him, which, by the way, I will say it again this week. If they want to be a sponsor of the show, contact me. But
I know you're a big fan.
I'm a huge fan of that software, and for learning stuff and on the fly, and you got to do it quick, and you need something that is a great tool to use because it's a user community. So and you can kind of tell which ones are the good tabs and all by how many downloads they get. And
this is Ultimate Guitar, right?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Is this the Guitar Pro on Ultimate Guitar?
No, it's just called Guitar Pro 7. It's a tab software that they sell, and I think it's like $60. And then there's a community that you download their MIDI files basically, and it writes it out in staff form or tab form. And I tell you, it really is. It's very accurate for a lot of the things. There's a lot of guys like Alex who's just, he's a composer pretty much. And they just, he'll figure out an entire Dream Theater album and he'll just write it all out and then put it up there. And it's like, that's crazy on itself. But, that's, it sounds like that's how you learned a lot of the Iron Maiden stuff, either by ear or you were picking it up by tab. And that is a really good learning tool, that Guitar Pro, for that. Because when you search Iron Maiden, Jeff, on Guitar Pro's forums, there's every song they've ever written. Like, every song.
Nice.
Every instrument, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. Somebody really put in a lot of time.
No lie.
That's good to know. I'm feeling really lazy when I have to learn a new song.
There you go. Just pull that up.
Yeah.
It can make you super lazy, but when you really want to find out what you got to do and you don't want to sit there hours, because look.
Well, the thing is, she already knows how to do it, so it's not that she's going to become lazy forever, because she already has the talent to pick it up. So this is just a help.
Yes, and there. I don't care who you listen to. There are times when you hear your favorite guitar player, and you go, I have no idea what he just did, and you could slow it down to the second, and it just like, nope, sounds like garbage to me. I have no idea. Because you got everything else contending, so sometimes you can't pick that stuff up.
Yeah.
So you kind of need a little help, man.
Well, she started out by ear and ear and tab, and that's got her this far, which I think is amazing. But I want to go back to when you picked up the guitar, you started playing Nirvana and all that. When did you get together with other people and start to make some beautiful collective noise?
I'm kind of weird in the sense I didn't join my first band or really get jamming with anybody until I moved to LA in 2012.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Like I moved to LA. I was finishing up college. I did like an internship. That's how I got to move to LA, just because in my town, I never found anybody really to jam with. And even went to college in Austin. I went there because it was the live music capital of the world, they say. And I just, I had tons of musician friends, but it was not stuff that I was into. And a lot of Austin is, there's music everywhere, but a lot of it's country or blues, or it wasn't what I wanted to do. So I moved out to LA. I went to NAMM. I met tons of people through Schecter. I just went to the Schecter booth and I kind of met everybody, and they were so kind and let me hang out there. And because I didn't know anybody, my music industry professor got me in. So I just went by myself, didn't know a single person.
Wow.
I just kind of hung out there and I met tons of people. It's a lot of people that I'm still good friends with to this day. And, I met the guitarist in the band that I would join shortly after, called Before the Mourning. And then through them, they knew Courtney and Nita. They were good friends with them. So then I was introduced to Courtney and Nita, and I played my first live show. It's crazy, with Before the Mourning on my 22nd birthday on the rocks above the Roxy. And then a week later,
Oh.
I started filling in with the Maidens. I was trading out with Nita off and on because she was doing her thing. Like, she was doing her own band, and then so she wasn't doing full time with the Maidens. So I thought it was just going to be a one-time thing with the Maidens, and then it just kind of took off more and more. So that was a crazy time in my life.
Yeah,
Crammed
it seems
with college and internship and job and music.
it seems like it happened pretty quickly, which is very cool. You know, wow.
I got extremely lucky. I still don't understand how it happened.
Well, I can tell you this, okay? Let's put it in perspective. A young girl that's attractive goes up to the Schecter booth and says, "Hey, can I hang out here?" And they're like, "Absolutely."
Sure.
Same thing happens with a guy like me, and they're showing me the door.
Well, I had seen them put up, because I used to do a bunch of covers on YouTube. Like, I would do a bunch of guitar covers.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
They had seen me on YouTube, and I had seen them post one of my pictures on their Facebook when I still lived in Texas. And so when I knew I was going to NAMM, I had messaged them and, asked if there was any way I could meet somebody there or whatever. And so they kind of knew who I was, and they actually gave me a job to help me stay in LA. And
wow.
Oh, wow.
Receptionist there. They're like family. Like, without them, they totally helped with my career, everything.
And
Now,
they're your sponsor, right? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've been playing. They were after the little Squire. Schecter was my first guitar, and ever since then I've been playing Schecter.
Holy crap.
So to finally get in with them, it was that was literally a dream come true, because I've been playing them since I was like 14, 15.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask Mick if Nikki, if you had been playing Schecter before you had gone out to NAMM and to the booth, but you obviously answered that, and that's that's so cool, man.
That is amazing.
Wow, to hear that they were just so hospitable.
Yes, they're truly like a just amazing group of people. Truly like a family. They, if you're a part of them, they will do whatever for you.
And I've heard that, because that's when it came down to Zakk Wylde and his line, he picked that company to do that line.
Yeah.
And Schecter, the Korean, it's the Korean line, Jeff, but that's where all the Wylde audio stuff is built. And it's through them. So it's ghost built through Schecter. So, if you're picking up a Schecter and you like that, you can go over to the Wylde audio stuff, and basically you're still putting money in their pocket, and you're getting a quality product. I tell you, I've played a couple of them, and I have never picked up one that was like, A, had any issues with it, but B, I was blown away that you could buy a guitar for right around $1,000, and it was loaded with EMGs. It had Tone Pro's bridge on it. It was using like 6100 fret wire from Dunlop. It had Grover locking tuners, all this mother of pearl. I was like blown away. Maple top, not veneer. It was actually like, a thick flame top on it. And I was like, "You paid like how much for this?" And the guy told me, he's like, $950. I'm like, "What?" I'm like, this is equivalent to like, and binding everywhere. It was just insane. It was and correct me if I'm wrong here, Nikki. It was the C6, and I think it was like some classic or something like that. I think it had that name.
The C6 classic. Yeah. Did it have like the vines going up it?
Absolutely. The neck had vines on it. Yeah. It was a little weird because you had to look at the side markers, Jeff, because if you looked at the fingerboard, it'd throw you off in a heartbeat. But
that's just the acid kicking in,
Exactly.
But the really cool thing with Schecter too is they get the guitars in, but every one of them is set up by a tech here in Sun Valley, California, at the Schecter headquarters. Pretty much every one of them is set up so when you take it out of a box, you can pretty much just play it right out of the box.
That's a very smart marketing thing to do, man, because so many of those guitars, that come from overseas, when you get them, they are like they just threw the bridge on, put some strings on it.
They need a little help.
Yeah.
Need a little help. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's wild, man.
Yeah, That's why the quality's great. You know, I worked there. I still go up there a lot, and yep, I know all, you know, they work hard on it, and they, you know, they really take pride in, you know, as soon as it's out of the box, set up, ready to go, you can plug it in and play it. It's in tune, everything.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, when we go to NAMM this year, we're going to have to talk to those guys and get somebody on the air, because that would
absolutely,
because that was U.S. based for the longest time, just out of California, right? It was like a custom shop out of California, and then it kind of went away, and then all of a sudden they had this Korean line, and they overtook the world. I mean, it was like this company resurrected itself like overnight. It was amazing.
Yep. It's and now they have a custom shop, you know, in Sun Valley as well, where they're making amazing. I want a USA custom. They make just amazing. It's a lot of the ones at NAMM that are on display.
Oh, okay.
Just you know, I got to go in and see all the machines doing it.
Wow.
Just they're just works of art. They're really amazing what they're making out of there.
I would put them on the plane, Jeff, with John Suhr, you know, that, like that's the West Coast version of John Suhr guitars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the USA models that they make are just, when you pick them up, I mean, it's like, God, you feel like you've had it, because I got to play a USA model long ago, and I was like, this thing felt like it had been played for 30 years. I mean, it was like a worn pair of jeans, you know, but very expensive back in the day. Good God, they were expensive.
Well, most good things are, but you know, they're becoming more affordable nowadays.
Absolutely,
and they're really good quality. So,
yeah.
You know, we've had this conversation all the time with a lot of guests. It's like, you know, the older guests, when they first got into guitars, they get their first acoustic guitar. You know, the strings are half an inch off the fretboard. You can't play it, and 9 times out of 10, the person winds up putting it down and never playing guitar because it was a horrible experience. Your first guitar, Nikki, I'm sure was very playable and very affordable. I would think, you know, it's so different now.
It is. It's everything is so affordable, as everything is at your fingertips pretty much now. You can pick up a good starter guitar, and, you know, it's horrible. I had an acoustic guitar. It's still at home in Texas. I haven't brought it over here yet, but I just got one of the Schecter acoustics, and it's amazing. And I confess I do not play an acoustic near as much as I should, but yeah, I kind of wish I would have started on one, but then again, I don't, because that might have turned me right off.
Doing John Denver tunes instead of
girls.
That's too funny. So when you started sitting in part-time in the Maidens, and that's I mean, even the first gig sounded really cool. How long were they around? How long had they been established at that point when you started to sit in with them? You know?
Yes. My memory is so horrible now. It used to be really good. I think, is it 15 years they've been around now? Is it 15? What is the year? Yeah, it's around 15. I'm just going to say maybe 15 total since it was formed. And then 2017. So I've been with them for 5 years. I've been playing with them for 5 years, 5.5.
Wow.
So, they were around for 10 years. Our drummer, Linda, and our bass player, Wanda, have almost pretty much been there from the beginning. So they're, so they're the two main original members, you can pretty much. And then Courtney came in, and I think our singer Kirsten came in at about the same time, a couple of years at least before I did.
Well, you guys kick ass, man. I'm
very cool. Yeah. So what is your what's your rig like nowadays? And you know, most people can't carry backline with them. I assume you do a lot of fly dates, I would think, unless I'm wrong. But what is your rig like nowadays?
Well, I'm hoping to change it really soon. Right now I have a Schecter Hellraiser head, which they aren't really making anymore. It's a great amp. But I'm actually, because we do travel so much, and now that we have our new booking agency, we are traveling a lot more.
Mm.
And it's, you never know what you're going to get anywhere when it comes to backline. Is it going to work? Is it going to sound okay? So I'm really looking into getting a Kemper.
Okay.
I'm really looking into getting that. Plus, carrying the cab.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, new apartment and carrying a cab up and down stairs it's kind of daunting. I'm not very strong, so that's kind of no fun for me. But my pedal board is constantly kind of changing. Right now, let's see, what do I have? I have the Decimator. I have
It's a great pedal.
I have the Boss Ottawa 2 for like Number of the Beast and all that. I've got the Zakk Wylde MXR chorus, the Black Label Society chorus.
Nice.
I've got the the carbon copy delay.
Great delay.
MXR, yeah.
MXR2.
They make a new version of that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, it's two buttons. I think you can have a tap tempo now with it. So you can, it's got more stuff. I don't know what the hell I'm saying. It's just they offer a second button, so it's a tap tempo. I'll stop.
That's cool. No, that's cool. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I have the BBE Boosta Grande for the solo boost.
Nice.
And God, I looked at my pedal board. I have so many more pedals that I like to use, and it's just getting impractical to travel with them all. So that's why I'm really looking into getting a Kemper. My friend Patrick from Heaven Below, he plays with Lita Ford too. He's really, really laying it on thick to get a Kemper. I hear him play with it. His whole band plays with them, and I'm like, oh, it sounds really good. So.
Well, you can go a couple versions because they offer their versions. Unlike Fractal, they offer it with a 600-watt D-class power amp, so you can get either just the preamp or you can get the full blown thing with the power amp. So then you could actually go and request like a cabinet, when you go to your gig, and all you have to do is just carry a bag with this thing, and it's so funny how they make that too. I don't know. I guess they really tried to think of everything, Jeff, because they have like a lunchbox type version, and that comes in a bag. But then they also have a 19.2U rack version, and you can get both of them in just the preamp or preamp power amp. And I think the price difference is like $400 on those when you get the power amp, maybe. I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then their foot controller is a little bit more forgiving than the Fractal 2, because I think the way it's laid out, it's a smaller footprint, which makes it easier to shove in your luggage or something.
Right, or gig bag or something.
It's so funny how we have to think about this now.
Exactly.
Years ago, it was like, well, I need 4 cabinets, dude. And, I got 3 heads. I'm going to need a lot of power.
Right.
And now everybody's going, well, I got it on my iPhone. Can we just plug the iPhone in, and then I'm going to play to the iPhone?
Yep. Like, oh man, if I can have what I need and I have my tone guaranteed, just plug in, go, and I can carry it with me on a plane. Man, that sounds like heaven instead of bringing my huge pedal board.
Yeah.
Once you do get the Kemper, that's what you're going to have. Everything is in there. Is it going to be exactly the same as every pedal you have? No, but I'm sure that within a day you're going to have every song, every sound for every song that you need ready to go. It's just the way things are going, and it has to be, because if you can carry it on, even better, because God knows what airlines do to check stuff. So and it's with you when you get off the plane, and you're headed, just you put it in your suitcase with the weekend's worth of clothes, and you're done. You're done.
Yep. My friend takes it as his carry-on. He has it in a nice little road case.
Mm-hmm.
Just picked him up from the airport the other day, and I was like, is that it? Is that the Kemper? That's it? You got me sold, man. I need to get
Yeah. Well, it's for, I guess, Jeff and Nikki, for when you're doing those kind of gigs and you got to get out there, but you really need to have all that sound and you can't carry it. That's great. Now, when it would come to like a studio thing, well, then that's when you can bring in the the vintage 1979 Marshall or whatever it is, because they kind of don't take the road too well these days anyhow, and we all know what the airlines are like. I seen the airline guy the other day. He picked the bag up to throw it down onto the thing. So he took it off. I was like, wow, that was pretty neat. He didn't just chuck it. He actually threw it down. So he picked it up higher than he had to throw it down.
Oh my God.
I was like, well, that looked pretty good.
Oh yeah. Look at it. Well,
like,
it's the best of the worst.
Like, oh my gosh, what are they doing to the instruments? I check mine every time I get it now because mine was broken in Mexico. So every time I land, I look, I make sure the neck is intact.
And what do you carry it in, an anvil case or?
Oh, I need to. Right now it's in one of the Schecter cases. Right now I'm going through a moving transition, so it's kind of I'm just revamping everything. So I got to really upgrade my gear now since we are traveling so much.
What did you do when you got there and it was broken? I mean, do you only carry one or?
It's usually I'll carry two. It's usually me carrying two and Courtney will carry one or vice versa. So in case something happens, we have a backup. But we were so lucky. I have so many good friends in Mexico. And actually, my friend Leonardo, he's a photographer for Schecter, and he works a lot with them. Him and his friend Dave brought two of their Schecters for me, just in case I needed a backup. It was, and then one of the guys, Paul from this really awesome band Cerberus, they were opening for us, and he's like, "Here, you can use this Schecter, if you need it." So it was awesome. Like, everybody always comes together to help everybody out.
That's nice.
Did you say the band name was Cerberus?
Cerberus, yeah.
Do you know where they're from, perchance?
Are they centered in Mexico City? They're playing tons of big festivals. They're really awesome. He's a killer guitar player. Okay,
because the only band that I had ever heard with that name was a bar band in New Jersey. And
really?
I didn't think they would probably. Server.
I'm gonna go see Cerberus today.
So I didn't think that they would progress to the point where they would be on the same stage as you guys.
No,
quite honestly, but
they're actually playing big festivals like Slipknot and.
Oh, Jesus.
I think they opened for Metallica. They won a contest in Mexico, so they're an awesome band from Mexico. They actually opened for us on our whole tour last time.
Wow!
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, if you know Gretchen Menn, right?
Yes. Well, I've never met her. We talk on Instagram.
Well, we'll have to see if we can make that happen at NAMM because she has an anvil case, and I say anvil. That's like saying Coke, right? So she has this flight approved case that I actually have put my hands on, and she ships a Les Paul in that thing and throws that in the belly of every plane that she gets on, and it never comes out with issue. And I'm telling you, that thing is built like a Sherman tank, and it's got wheels built into it, so you don't have to try to carry it because it's got a little weight, and it's got like a retractable handle, but it is 100% flight approved, ATA, the whole thing. That may be something you may want to check out, and you could talk to her because she would know. Yeah,
and if a Les Paul comes through unscathed, then I'm pretty sure a Schecter is going to be fine.
Yeah. You can take whatever you want.
That's right.
Anvil case. That's.
Well, I mean, Anvil is the brand, but there are a few companies out there that
this one was a different
ATA.
This was definitely some other company. It wasn't Anvil, but it was built like the original guys were Anvil, weren't they, Jeff? Back in the 70s or the late 60s. Yes. And they kind of set the standard, And I guess they worked with the ATA to see what was legal, like the recessed handles, the way the locks work, all the corner stuff, just to keep it to where you don't have to fret too much, and they cover it if it gets damaged because it's a flight-approved case.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few great companies like that now, but I mean, Anvil was the original way back in the day, and you know, that's like saying Kleenex,
exactly,
you know, or Xerox, you know, it just became the premier brand, you know. But there's plenty of them that do that now. So,
gotcha.
So where are you said you're home for a little while now? Where are you off to next?
We've got throughout December. It's just California shows, so it's some we're doing a lot of local shows right now.
Nice.
So that's kind of nice. We don't have to get on a plane for a while. So we've just been doing a lot of traveling, and then in January we're going to Canada again. I think is it Regina, Manitoba? I honestly can't remember. And then we're doing the Monsters of Rock cruise in February.
Oh wow!
Cool.
So I've only been on the West Coast one. I've never done the East Coast one, so I'm really, really stoked for that. I'm actually bringing my parents on that one.
Nice.
And then Texas. Woo! Texas in March. So I get to go finally play Texas. I haven't got to play my hometown state besides El Paso with them yet.
Wow.
So
where are you playing
that's
there?
Going to be pretty
fun. We're doing Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, and then Austin.
Nice.
Cool. So, you said that's February?
That one is March.
March.
Yeah. And then I think they've got us booked in some places through June or July. So there's a ton of places. There's a lot of good ones coming up. That's all I can say.
Nice.
All over the place.
Yeah, and I'm sure summer's going to pick up for sure because everybody picks up in the summer.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be cool. Well, we're going to have to look for you on the East Coast.
Yeah, man.
Oh, we are going to play the East Coast, actually. Finally. Where? I know there's going to be some New York. I think there's Connecticut.
Baltimore, possibly?
Are we doing... Wait, I think we might be doing Baltimore. Actually, let me look that up really quick.
Well, if that happens, then we'll be there, Jeff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Hey, I think, you just let me know, and that would be awesome. Let me see. A City. We're playing Philadelphia, New York. Let's see.
I bet they're going to come right down 95. Because if you play New York and then Philly, you just come down 95 and you hit Baltimore.
It'll either be Baltimore or DC.
Yeah,
one or the other.
I know we're starting in Canada, starting in Toronto, and then coming down.
Sounds cool. Like it's going to be the 95 corridor, man.
Exactly.
Just straight on down. That's perfect.
I've only been there once, so I don't even know that side of the country at all, but I'm so excited. A couple of our band members are from that area, so.
Oh, cool.
That is
way
cool.
over.
Yeah, I didn't ask you yet. Do you have any studio material? Are you doing anything with the Maidens in the studio, or have you ever done anything solo that our listeners need to know about?
I've released 2 solo songs. As Chaos Consumes, and the other one is Save Our Souls. It's just me giving a shot at singing.
It's pretty cool, by the way. I saw the video.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Kicks ass.
Just because I wrote songs and I hear vocals to it. I'm like, well, I don't know who else to get to do it, so I'm just going to give it a shot and put it out there and see how it goes.
It went well.
Nice.
Thank you. It went better than I thought. I was expecting people to throw stuff at me. So that didn't happen. So it actually went well. Went over way better than I expected. And I'm just working to a full length for myself, but lots more guitar oriented as well. And the Maidens are supposed to be going into the studio soon. We just got to lock down the date to finally record an album with this current lineup. So that's going to be happening hopefully very soon.
Nice. Nice. Now, when you're not doing the Maidens, which sounds like it's less and less nowadays, do you go out with your own project, like locally?
I would love to eventually once I get enough songs. Hopefully that'll happen.
Cool.
I'm not home really. I've got tons of ideas and I need to get them, all of them down so I can actually get them recorded. I've been playing with my friend's band, A Mirror Hollow. I played a show with them not too long ago, and I'm trying to play with them more as the Maiden's schedule permits. But it's just been so busy lately that it's hard to do anything else, which is good. It's great to be so busy, but I really want to do some more original stuff too.
Well, I mean, nowadays, you take a Mac Airbook, with GarageBand on it, and your hotel room becomes a studio.
Yep.
For the most part, you can
Especially
do a lot of
camper.
things on there. Oh my, yeah, you don't even have to rely on the models in GarageBand, but it's just so easy to put down ideas nowadays.
Yep. Buy some drum loops. That's what I just kind of, put the drums out, and then, I took it. That's what I did with the last one. I wrote all the drums just in GarageBand, and then I took it to my friend Tiny, and I'm like, here's like the idea. You bring it to life with what you want to do with the drums.
Is he real big?
He's
Wait, just because he's called Tiny?
Yeah.
He's a pretty big dude. Yeah. Like he's a tall dude, not like wide, but he's like punk drummer too, and so he like he's played with the Dickies and a bunch of people, but he nailed it. But yeah,
wow.
Tiny. See, it's like guys named Stretch are always short.
Uh-huh.
Tiny's always big guys, right?
Yep.
That's funny.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Too funny. Well, Nikki, anything that we didn't cover? I mean, you've got family in Schecter, but any other endorsements, manufacturers that you want to give a shout out to?
Seymour Duncan, GHS Strings. Get them guitar straps. We actually just started using the Ultimate Ear in-ears.
Ah.
That was the first for this Europe tour, so that was a.
How are they? Are they nice?
They are.
Yeah.
It's you hear everything very clear. It's awesome, but we you got to have good monitor engineers. So we the next step is getting our own mixing board so we can do it on our own. But awesome, totally saves your hearing.
Did it take you a while to get used to it?
It did, because it sounds, depending on where you're playing, it sounds different kind of each night, and sometimes it sounds great depending on who's mixing it. But you definitely hear any mistakes you're making. So
oh yeah,
makes you better.
Well, that's probably why it sounds different, is because somebody else is mixing it every night. Somebody different mixing it every night. I know a lot of guys that go out with them, like Cowboy Mouth or Buddy Matt and Cowboy Mouth. They all have in-ears.
Yep.
They actually have their own mixer that they set the way everybody likes their own mix, because everything goes to that. The in-ear mix goes to everybody's transmitter, and then it goes to their in-ears. And then, there's a parallel line it's pretty much a splitter, and the unaffected lines go out to the front of house, and then the front of house mixes. But they have their own. All they have to do is carry their own little mixer, and everybody gets the same mix every night, regardless. You don't need your own monitor engineer. You just need this and a guy that knows how to set it.
Yeah. Yep, I think that's the next thing that's in store. We've been investing into the show to get all these things to make the show better.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next the next thing for sure. That would just make it, so easy.
Yeah, because then it's consistent, and everybody gets the exact mix that they want every night.
Yes.
It's very, very cool.
Hey, could you imagine after a while, everybody, if you go with like the Kemper, and then the other Courtney and your bass player, they go with something that's more direct, and all you would hear, Jeff, is the drums and one person or a couple people singing on stage. Literally nothing. I mean,
right.
That's how Trans-Siberian Orchestra is. That's why the drummer's in plexiglass, because they don't, there's no stage volume, and I guess it must do something with mic bleed and stuff hearing the drums coming through, but that's what it's going to, man. It's weird, isn't it?
And it can be long now, Mick, where, the Simmons kit's going to come back.
And here's the thing. That's pretty funny, though. But Pearl makes a set that looks like a regular drum set, and it's all digital.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's like, a 24-inch bass drum. It doesn't look like the Roland kit. It actually looks like a Pearl drum set. It's just not a real drum set.
Right.
It's completely...
But anything that doesn't make acoustic noise doesn't feel the same.
No.
You can ask any drummers. Like the drummers, when they were first started to play the Simmons kits back in the 80s, they were getting like shin splints and everything, like from the on the right foot from the kick drum, because it didn't respond like a regular kick drum. No.
Yeah. Even the mesh heads that they have now, they're good, but they're not. They're a little too spongy, actually. They don't react the same way, but give it time.
Yeah. Give me a good Bonzo kid any day.
Exactly.
Oh, nothing like the real thing, right? Yeah. Cool. I think we've come full circle.
And do you have a website, Nikki?
I am working on that. I need to get that going. For now, you can go to the ironmaidensofficial.com.
All right.
And,
okay. Well, guess what? Yeah. All the links for the Iron Maidens are going to be on this episode, and that is going to live in
perpetuity.
Yes. And you'll be able to go back in the archive and definitely show them some love. And you got to go out and see this band. I'm telling you, everybody's going to go, oh, it's a bunch of girls. They will kick your ass, okay? That's right. And they have kicked many a ass. I mean, it is amazing to see you two up there, you and Courtney, doing those harmony leads note for note, exact same way as Dave Murray and what's his name? I lost his name. Adrian. And let me tell you, man, it is unreal. I've watched you guys, and I'm going, damn, man, down to just the little nuances, you guys pick it up, and that is really impressive. And then your bass player, what's her name? I don't even know what's her name. Your bass player,
Juan Ortiz.
She's playing Steve Harris, okay? That's all.
She's awesome.
You have to be. You cannot slouch an Iron Maiden band as the bass player, because that's literally the number one guy in the band.
Yep, and she also plays like a double upright bass in the West Coast Symphony here too, as well.
Wow.
Well, there you go.
She's a badass.
Sounds like.
You should really ask her about theory.
I know. Yeah, I think she went to college for music too, so she can teach a thing or two.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys are on the road, just a little lesson here and there.
Pick her brain.
Could help.
Yep.
And it's
free. Be the start of something. There you go. Wow, that's very cool. Well, best of luck, and our listeners. So now that the Iron Maidens have new booking people behind them, they're going to probably turn up in a town near you.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. That's the plan.
That's cool. That is very cool. Well, Nikki, thank you so very much for taking the time. Finally get to speak to you. That's great. And safe travels and much continued success.
Thank you guys so much. Thanks for having me.
Been a pleasure. All right. Enjoy, and hopefully we'll hook up with you at NAMM.
Yeah.
Yes, I will see you there.
Excellent.
Awesome. As a special offer to our audiences, warbyparker.com will give you a 5-day home try-on complete with 5 pairs of glasses to choose. Just go to warbyparkertrial.com/AAA to get a free 5-day home try-on. Warby Parker makes buying glasses online easy and risk-free. Their home try-on program allows customers to order 5 pairs of glasses to be shipped directly to them, where they can try them on in the comfort of their own home. For every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. Warby Parker makes buying glasses fun, easy, and pain-free. Warby Parker keeps their styles highly curated, fashion-forward, and extremely wearable, while including high-quality lenses and coatings at no additional cost. Warby Parker makes your experience completely risk-free and free shipping all around. Visit warbyparkertrial.com/AAA to begin your free home trial on experience today.
And there you have the story.
Yeah, man.
The Stringfield story.
Yeah.
Stringfield story.
She said she was born in 90, right? So that puts her, 27, right?
Yes.
27 years old. She went out to L.A. in 2012, and she's
5 years ago.
Yeah, she's been playing with the Iron Maidens on and off for 5.5 years. So if we all do the math, she never played with a band before. She went out to L.A. This is how good she is, guys. And she got the gig right away.
Yeah. And again, like we've heard from many people, you got to be willing to just put yourself out there. It's like, I'm going to go do this, commit 100%, and just go do it.
And you got to have the chops. Don't forget the chops.
Well, of course you got to have the chops.
Yeah. And she does, man. Phew.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very cool.
How cool is that?
It was cool.
So until next time, my friend.
That's right, because it's going to be awesome once again.
Hell yeah, it is. Right. I'm Mick Marcelino.
I'm Jeff Bober.
And we're always saying,
onward.
Be sure and follow the show on Twitter @AmpsandAxes. Also, make sure you like the show on Facebook. For news, comments, and everything else, visit the webpage ampsandaxescast.com. Thanks for listening.